Thank you very much for this presentation and for this wonderful opportunity to contribute to the multitude of views that are being presented at this conference. I would start with a couple of words for the institution I work for, the European Investment Bank. It is one of the more significant international financial institutions in the world and has a substantial volume of lending annually, which is typically in the range of 89 billion. A large part of that is dedicated to transport projects, about 12 to 13 billion per year. And those numbers of course sound abstract, and how do they relate to our daily problems? Well, it is one of the aspects. Financing of road safety is one of the important aspects and one of the key elements of the chain of events and the chain of activities that need to take place in order to arrive from the identification of a problem to the materialization of a meaningful investment. So what is not so well known about the activities of the bank is that a lot of the lending operations are supported by advisory services, and that is another aspect which I intend to focus on in this presentation. As I mentioned, a substantial amount of the work of the bank is dedicated to transport lending, and in particular for roads. Roads make about 1/4 of that portfolio, and road safety is always a key element in the appraisal of road investment projects, even if the projects are not necessarily dedicated primarily to road safety. The activities of the bank in the transport sector are governed by the transport lending policy, and the first pillar of that is the health and safety of the population of the road users, but of course to the population as a whole. In the context of this conference, a very short overview of the situation in the EU. It is well known that the trends in road safety have been positive in recent years, but unfortunately they've not been positive enough to achieve the the targets that we're hoping to. So the question is, what needs to change? What we need to be doing differently? And arguably one of the things that make a difference is focused investments in the area of road safety. We have some examples of countries in the EU which seem to perform better, and that again seems to be correlated with dedicated investments to road safety projects. I think most of you would be familiar with the road safety management framework at the level of EU. What I wish to highlight is that it is a complicated one. We're dealing with a complicated problem, and the framework is, of course, not so straightforward. So we have tools to deal with road safety at project level. We have network level tools. But something I started with is that we have a very long chain of factors that need to align in order to arrive from the registration of an accident or the recognition of an issue with the infrastructure, and to arrive to a meaningful investment to address the problem. And there are many practical questions related to the formulation of road safety investment strategies. How we deal with different issues. Do we try to address them primarily through maintenance? Do we do focused road safety investment programs? Do we do a combination of both? And these properly addressing those questions, I think makes a ton of difference. A couple of examples of projects that we have been dealing with. It is just a short selection. We have other as well, many other examples, but these we thought would illustrate our points. That is one possible approach, and I think it's standard for the IFIs to start with a predefined set of accident locations, to focus on, to analyze the issues at each of them, come up with technical solutions to improve them, and then prepare an investment program to be financed. The example that we most recently, the project that we most recently did is in Romania. And of course, the positive impacts of that program have been estimated to amount to more than 600 deaths to be avoided, which I think speaks for itself. The second example is from Cyprus. It is another flavor of initiatives and type of projects that we can have related to road safety. This one is focused on enforcement, and already the issues related to speeding have been mentioned today. And this project is focused on that. Again, this highlights the need to look at ITS not as something in and of itself, but as means to achieve certain policy goals, and I think mainly that is health and safety. And the last example is relatively recent, from Malta. We have not yet opened a landing operation, but it is again a good example for a different type of approach. That is a network level assessment using the IRAP methodology. Again, in the hope of identifying meaningful investments and shortening the period and shortening the road between identifying the problem and addressing it. Those examples were classic approach for IFIs. That is technical assistance associated with lending activities, but we also do something else very interesting. We have and we've had for decades now advisory activities under EC financed mandates. There are a number of programs, but most notably I would wish to mention, most importantly, JASPERS, which started about 20 years ago. And JASPERS is an initiative which works under numerous mandates. And initially it started it was targeted in support of specific projects, investment projects in member states, but eventually was extended to cover also the Western Balkans under IPA, and more recently the Eastern Partnership countries under the so-called EPIC, which means Eastern Partnership Investments in Connectivity. So that is another potential source of technical assistance another possibility of us to try and join forces with other stakeholders and make a difference. So yeah, there's from the requirements, and you know that each bank, each IFI, they have their own requirements, and those are relatively straightforward typically. The thing I would wish to highlight is the need to have feasibility studies for investments, not only generally in the transport sector, but also related to road safety. In the examples, I had quoted some figures about the estimated positive impacts of those projects, and those have been determined using feasibility studies, and that is an area which we can help in, and yeah, it's not, as you would know, it is not enough to just declare that we have certain problems at certain locations. That needs to be properly analyzed and properly justified in order to be able to attract investments and hopefully address the problems. And that is how I would wish to finish my presentation. Thank you.